What's up, Stat Fam? I told you we was coming back with another. We got inside stuff. Larry Bird, special NBA, Boston Celtics, 1990's, full episode. This is a live reaction. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, and comment below. Let get it. Y'all already know it's legendary. I promise y'all know that. Y'all know what I got to say. Goodbye. She's gone. I promise you. Bird fans know she gone. That's a knockdown easily. Y'all heard the reporter said, goodbye. She's gone. And she was legendary ever since I heard it. Hey, man. You been solidified. You been stamped. I promise you. That was just the reporter stamping you. Promise you. Reporter knew it was good before the ball got in the basket. Shit, legendary, man. And what the other reporters say when they shot against the Sonics? Look out. That's a bad guy, man. That's a bad guy. I promise you, know. That shit was deadly, man. I don't care though, but 11 straight buckets, that's all I had to see. I know that. Go back and watch it. If y'all ain't seen, make sure y'all go back and watch Big Bird. This shit's not made up, I promise you. You would think this shit made up. This shit ain't made up. This shit for real. Bird fans know. Any other fan know, if you really been watching, this shit is not no fluke. Promise you. Let's get it started early.
Incredible skills and tireless work ethic that all helped create the legend of Larry Bird.
His attitude has always been above reproach, the perfect demeanor, tough, confident, winner.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ Right half one, second left. Lively Bird. Bird stole the imposing pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up to him.
He was just a phenomenal teammate.
You look at people like MacArthur, who the war happens, and General Patton. There's a war for them to shine in. Larry was born to play basketball.
Larry graced the parquet floor for 13 years before retiring last August. And this Thursday night, the Celtics will show their appreciation by holding a night in his honor. Bird's number 33 will be retired and raised to the rafters of Boston Garden.
And it'll be the perfect final chapter to a story that began in French Lick, Indiana. But it's a story with an unlikely beginning. As a youngster, Larry didn't seem destined for glory. He was a shy and skinny country boy who had his share of setbacks on his journey to greatness.
A young man from a small town with a very large imagination.
We didn't have a lot when we grew up, and basketball, when it came into my life, that's all I did.
Like so many other Indiana boys, Larry shot baskets endlessly. As he entered Spring Valley High School, those long hours of practice began to pay off. By the time he became a junior, his game had improved dramatically.
It was just like Magic Wand and touched him. We'd never seen him play like that.
When it came time for college, Larry followed the dream of every young Hoosier, choosing Indiana University. But the dream died abruptly when he dropped out after 24 days.
It was a decision I made and something I had to live with, and I thought about it before I did it. And it's just, I would like to stay there, but it just wasn't for me.
Back home in French Lick, Bird had to cope with his father's death. Putting basketball on hold, he went to work for the local sanitation department. But when little-known Indiana State came calling, Bird gave college a second chance and put the school on the basketball map.
Did he?
Every offense we ran, the first thing we wanted to happen was Larry to touch the ball. And that was our goal, was get it in his hands 75% of the time that we had it. And, it worked.
Goodness, oh.
way we were beating teams was just on pure guts and determination. So we just got in our minds that we wouldn't.
Did you see that pass? I'm done.
And throughout his senior year, nobody
With
could
the
beat
hop
Bird
step.
and the Cinderella
Goodness.
Sycamores. They rode a perfect record into the NCAA championship game before losing to Michigan State and its charismatic young star, Irvin Magic Johnson. Not long after that game, Larry signed with the Celtics. He was immediately dubbed the Hick from French Lick. But as Bird once put it, I came to Boston a hick and left a legend, and that's not bad.
Promise.
Hick was showing up quite a few syndicates during his career in the NBA.
That's right. From his school days to the NBA, one trademark of his career was his flair for last-second heroics.
It was during crunch time that Bird was at his best, and it didn't matter who was guarding him or how many seconds were left on the clock. When the game was on the line, you always knew Larry would find a way to win.
Not going to call a foul. Goes to Bird. He's open.
She's gone.
Williams to Bird again.
Look at this. Goodbye. She's gone. They're running three.
Keep it close, and he had the chance of winning. He's going to win that game.
Max looking. Loose it to Bird. A
Shit
runner.
can't be made up. Look at this. Shit don't make no sense.
Well, it's 2-point difference, and they're down 2. Bird will come up with a three-pointer. When you keep waiting for it, you're waiting for it with bated breath.
Here's Abe.
Yeah. That's against my team, too. Ha! That hurt right there, Big Bird. That hurt.
This special edition of NBA Inside Stuff is brought to you by Fleer NBA basketball cards. Fleer, a game in every pack. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA. Welcome to the second annual Fleer NBA Championship game. Here's the tip-off. Cartwright controls to Chambers. Chambers takes it up top to Anderson. He spins behind the back to Karl Malone. The mailman delivers to three-point
Jump from
land.
three.
The pitch goes well. 6 seconds left. Johnson inbounds to Ron Harper at midcourt. Alley-oop to Green. A great pass.
What a pass. Showtime.
And that's the game. Now here's the wrap-up. Fleer, a game in every pack.
I like that right there. That's legendary.
Welcome back to our Larry Bird special. Joining us right now are two men who have closely followed Larry's career. One of them is his former Celtic teammate, Quinn Buckner, and the other is America's top sports journalist. He's a contributing columnist to Newsweek magazine, Mr. Frank DeFord. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Now, Quinn, you go way back with Larry. What was the first thing about Larry that you found out that you knew that this guy was special?
Well, my first encounter was a non-encounter with Larry. My junior year, I'd played basketball in Europe, and I'd come back after missing school for 2 weeks. So I got back on campus, and I asked my brother who was on the campus, where's this guy named Bird? He said, I just saw him on the highway with his luggage. I think he went home.
Walking that shit out. We talking about real
Yeah, he
legend.
did, and got his priorities together. The first time I saw Larry playing, it was just one of the regular games that we played. And you watch the guy that without any effort at all was beating people. And you say, how do you do that? Because he can't run. He was out jumping people and getting rebounds. And you knew that there was something special, but it took about 2 or 3. It's like, certain songs, it takes you 2 or 3 times to hear it before you realize, very good song.
Yeah.
But Frank, I'm sure that you have heard of legends. I mean, legends that grow up in different parts of the country. When you first heard about Larry Bird and you first saw him, did he live up to that?
Well, he did live up to it, but when I first saw him, no. And I think anybody who says that the first time they saw him, they said, this guy's great, I think they're full of it. And this goes even hour back when he signed him, and he was reluctant to pay him any kind of money. He said, no forward, no corner man has ever turned a game around. I can't give you that kind of money. So I don't believe anybody seeing this pasty weight, little bit overweight guy who can't run and can't jump could have known how good he was going to be.
But Quinn, throughout the course of his career, he wore out many an NBA player trying to guard him.
Indiana Pacers, we're playing
Torching
the game
shit
and
out
Larry's
there,
on the roll. I mean, he's shooting it from everywhere. Chuck Person is guarding him. He runs by and tells the coach, he said, you better get Chuck out of the game. He's hurting your team. And he keeps right on running. I mean, that was all the time. One of the all-time trash talkers. But Larry always felt that, if he made a big shot in the game, I said, man, that was a great shot. He said, hey, as much as I practiced, I should have made it.
He also said at the end of the game is where you separate the men from the boys, and he was certainly a man among men.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, I can recall a game against Portland when I was there in 84, 85.
He took the game is on the line, and he gets it. He's got 3 people coming at him, and he's in the corner. And he just kind of waits till they kind of get there, and he just takes the ball and he just lofts it in the air. I mean, it goes down, and Larry just never breaks stride, walks right to the locker room. I've never seen anybody with that kind of confidence.
Walk straight to the locker room.
You've seen so many great athletes in your career. How would you put Larry in perspective to these great players?
When you talk about guts and confidence, as Quinn just was, I don't know anybody who's ever matched him for that, the just kind of assurance that the man had. And as far as basketball players are concerned, he and Elgin Baylor be my forwards for all time. I'll start with those 2 guys on the team, and you can have the next couple players.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Above everybody else?
Insofar as a forward, I'm talking about, yes, I don't think there's any question that Bird is the top forward who's ever played this game.
I'm not old enough.
Heard that? Bird, the best small forward ever.
Elgin, in a way, they're both rather important because Elgin really, I think, started the modern game, his kind of play.
Move, Elgin.
And Larry took it to another level insofar as being a complete player and being the corner man who can dominate a game. Nobody else had ever done that before. But another thing about Bird that I think is that all the things we're talking about, he was kind of every man. And never mind that he was white or black. But he didn't look like a ball player. And so that the guy in the stands could much more identify with Larry Bird than somebody like Michael Jordan who can jump 87 feet or somebody like Shaquille O'Neal who's 12 feet tall and weighs 800 pounds. Bird, you could sense. What do you think of when you think of Larry Bird? You don't think of a guy jumping up and dunking. You think of a guy putting his hand on the back of his shoe. I mean, an everyday kind of thing. He was very human.
And we have all got to be thankful that we had a chance to see a great player like Larry Bird play.
Well, there's no question about it. I got to say this, though. I had the fortune of being around Michael for a long period of time. You know him very well. During the course of the Olympics, what you can sense about Larry that is likened to Michael and those guys, supreme confidence. There's not ever a chance, every time you're around them, I don't care what it is, if they're playing tiddlywinks, they're playing to win, and they always believe they're going to win. So you remember that when you're playing tiddlywinks.
Hey, thank both you guys for joining us today. I really enjoyed this. Quinn Buckner, Frank DeFord.
Thank you.
And now let's go back over to Willow.
Thanks, Ahmad. Larry was the kind of player who came up big in the biggest moments, especially during the playoffs. But perhaps his most extraordinary performance came in a rather ordinary setting. The middle of March 1985 against Atlanta. Just another regular season game until Bird made it the game of his life.
Made no damn sense, man. That guy right
Going
there.
into that game, I thought they might be a little bit late the night before. So I was saying, hey, maybe Larry won't have a real good night.
But Bird quickly put that notion to rest. On this night, he had simply entered another dimension, and everyone knew they were witnessing something special.
Just if you take this, just shot it.
Bird shoots the jumper right side, good.
I'm sure to Larry, the rim seemed like it was about 5 feet wide.
I mean, he was so hot. I mean, you're talking 2 or 3 guys checking him on, man.
And floaters and all, man. Look at this.
Forget it.
Larry.
I'm talking about doing damage all around.
From Indiana to Barcelona, Larry's career always seemed to be linked with that of Earvin Magic Johnson.
Between the two of them, they won 8 NBA championships in the 80s. But speaking of championships, you may have heard that there is one on the line today in Pasadena. Earvin's there as part of NBC's Super Bowl pregame show, and he's with Bob Costas.
This is the scene on the field. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, in his 4th year of ownership, and in Jimmy Johnson's 4th year as their head coach. They find themselves in the Super Bowl, 6th time in franchise history, first time for them, walking the field several hours before kickoff, trying to get a sense of the conditions at the Rose Bowl. It rained overnight, but the field was covered, and it'll be in perfect shape. Magic Johnson will be part of our pregame coverage of Super Bowl 27, and we come on the air with that in just a few minutes leading up to the kickoff at 6:18 Eastern Time. Magic, I didn't realize you were such a football fan.
Oh, I love football. It's my second favorite sport. If I didn't play basketball, I wish I could be an NFL football player.
And in the pregame show, you have a conversation with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin of the Cowboys, who are in the Super Bowl at a very early stage of their career, and you related to your experience, sophomore in the NCAA Finals, rookie in the NBA when the Lakers won a title.
Yes, they were very relaxed. We had a good interview, and I think the people are going to have fun listening to what Emmett and Troy and Michael has to say, because, you know, we were both relating stories when I was a rookie and so on. But, you know, they didn't seem like they were nervous. They were excited.
How about, though, as kickoff approaches? It's one thing not to be nervous the day before, the week before, but does the feeling change immediately before the tip or the kickoff?
Oh, no question about it. Last night probably was the toughest time, and then today, just anticipating and waiting on the game, not knowing what to expect, the biggest game in their career. It all comes, and it makes that stomach get a little tighter for the first time.
By the way, what you're hearing in the background, no, the Beatles have not been reunited. It is, I saw her standing there, but the man standing there on stage is the former Eagle, Glenn Fry, part of the tailgating party going on just beyond the Rose Bowl, and we'll capture a lot of the flavor of that on the pregame show, as well as plenty of strategy and matchups. Magic and the rest of the crew will be back with us in just a bit. Now off to Inside Stuff.
Thanks, Bob. So how about them Cowboys, or how about them Bills?
Both great teams.
that's staying right in the middle.
While Bird and Magic were arch rivals in one sense, they were also partners. Together, they revolutionized basketball with their showmanship and unselfish play, and they helped make the NBA more popular than ever before.
The two of them shared center stage during the 80s. The Celtics and the Lakers met for the championship 3 times in 4 years. Fans around the country were captivated by the excitement, the drama, and the 2 marquee names, Magic and Bird.
The fans have poured into Salt Lake City in record numbers, and they are infected with basketball fever. Those who believe in magic and those who appreciate the beauty of a rare bird have come to see basketball battle and witness the crowning of a new national champion.
Here is where the rivalry began.
Look at Irvin Magic Johnson, Michigan State University, national champions, 1979.
You know, you always have somebody in life that you want to beat and you want to compete against. And Larry Bird is the guy for me.
Goodbye. She's gone.
I think the one key ingredient to making us each of us a good basketball player is that we come to win every night.
Johnson over Parrish.
We both.
Backboard.
The best thing about this Bird-Johnson rivalry.
The ultimate showdown came in '87. They had split their first 2 meetings in the finals. Now they matched each other shot for shot. But in the end, Magic and the Lakers came out on top.
5 seconds to go.
It's legendary.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
But no matter how many times they play, the rivalry will never be settled.
When we play in these all-star games, these old-timer games, we're going to want to beat each other. And after that, when I see him on a park and recreation, I'm going to want to kill him then, too. He's going to want to kill me.
It's legendary.
A shot for the ages.
Greatest player on earth takes a side trip to Mars. And I'll coach Kentucky's Lady Wildcats, teaching them everything I know. Here you go, ladies. Is there anything else I can get you?
Oh, yeah, you can go get us some water.
Water, I'll be...
And of course, don't forget that coming up next right here on NBC is Super Bowl Live.
Is this Super Bowl Sunday?
Uh-huh.
Time goes so fast. We leave you with...
Bird family, they couldn't do nothing with Big Bird, man. Guy was out there torching shit, man. Starting lineup, Dream Team. Hurt back. Come on, man. I don't even gotta say nothing. The shit speaks for itself, man. Starting lineup, Dream Team. Hurt back. Still laying on the floor. Still can check into the games now. I've never seen this done in any other sport, in any other game, any other job, any other 9 to 5. I ain't never seen somebody work, sit down on the job, lay down on the job, and still get commission. And still with the starting lineup, man. Still with the head of them. Big legend.